Hi, this is Chris Fernando from Arabian Reseller, and we're speaking to Mr. Avinash Advani. He's the CEO and founder of CyberKnight, and we're going to talk about the plans that the company has for the market and the region, and their entry into the KSA market recently through strategic alignments with their partners.
Thank you for having me here.
Thank you, Avinash, for speaking to Arabian Reseller. We would like to start with a brief about your recent entry into the KSA market through a legal entity.
Absolutely. So first of all, we have actually been present in Saudi since the founding and the launch of CyberKnight, and we've had sales and technical resources, actually senior leadership resources, our VP of Sales and our VP of Technology and Services, who are on the ground from the very beginning. But we decided to form a legal entity in Saudi because of the operational value and benefits that we can provide to our partners on the ground. And so the intent was very quickly to, as soon as possible, get the legal entity established. COVID didn't help the cause, of course, it delayed a few things, but once the legal entity was established, we now have the ability to support our local channel partners on the ground better from a operational perspective, logistics perspective, invoicing perspective, all on the ground, which is very important when you look today at the regulations around doing business in Saudi.
So in terms of the value add that brings, with your direct presence in the market through a legal entity, what kind of value add will it mean for your customers?
Absolutely. So having the local entity on the ground allows us obviously to invest more in the kingdom. We are really looking to invest with Saudi's Vision 2030 and align and really invest in Saudis and hire more Saudis, as well as add more existing sales and technical resources to support our partners.
Can you also tell us about your strategic alignment with Virtuport and your presence at the MENA ISC 2020
Absolutely.
event?
You are right in saying that it's a very strategic alignment with Virtuport. We look at Virtuport far more longer term than just this MENA ISC event. Okay, the MENA ISC event, historically, as you probably know, has been one of the most successful security events in the region, and it was primarily focused on Saudi Arabia as a physical event. Now this year, MENA ISC is going to be a virtual event because of obvious reasons. And they're actually covering the entire MENA region, and they're expecting several thousand attendees to come through this virtual platform. So we are their official distribution partner, okay? Essentially one of the top tier level sponsors and alignment partners with Virtuport, but this is not a one-off alignment.
Okay, so at the virtual event of the MENA ISC 2020, what sort of products and solutions are you going to showcase?
Great question. So, the theme of MENA ISC this year is very much around cyber resilience, evolving towards cyber resilience. And so, we have a portfolio today made up of about 22 different cybersecurity vendors. And out of this portfolio, we have a cross-section of different vendors that have chosen to align and partner with us for MENA ISC. Now, that ranges from people in the endpoint security space, in the unified threat intelligence space, in the DLP space, and even in the phishing and awareness and training space.
So what sort of impact has the market seen in terms of the COVID situation? There are a lot of changes that have happened. What kind of key learnings have you seen, and how are you using that to enhance the strategies of your business?
Sure. So as you know, and I think everyone in the world knows, COVID-19 has impacted everyone severely. It's been a disastrous year, and that has taken 2020 and really just hit it with a sledgehammer, and that applies to various different facets. Now, when you look at when the lockdown began in Q2 calendar year, everyone just went immediately into a closed mode. Everything stopped suddenly. People were very uncertain what was going on, and so we decided to really focus our portfolio offering, which was around zero trust security, and model it around the remote working scenario. So we focused on this campaign that we call Zero Trust Work working for the remote workforce, and really spent a lot of time with that, doing a lot of sessions and webinars with our vendors, for our partners, for our customers. And then we even did a second phase for Zero Trust for the security operations people, because it's on the customer side and the end user side, the employee side that needed to be considered. And so that was one part. Then in Q3, as people began emerging from the lockdown, we started helping partners really drill this Zero Trust message into their end users and help them also understand that the different tools that exist today to tackle the new kinds of threats and breaches and attacks that are coming because of COVID-19, because a lot of attackers out there started leveraging on the COVID-19 pandemic. And as we move forward into Q4, from a education perspective, we do believe that at some point there will be a vaccine, and at some point COVID-19 will return to, will end, and there will be some return to some semblance of normalcy. But until that actually happens, we've continued to maintain a very remote style of working from a online meetings perspective. A few partners have begun meeting face-to-face, so we've been doing that now. But from a customer perspective, a lot of activity has been taking place, but mostly online, and that will probably continue until there's a reduction in the number of cases that happen. From a market perspective, I can tell you that it was a disastrous impact for the whole world, as we know. There's no complaint, but Q2 and Q3 were challenging for the globe, and that includes this part of the world. And the biggest issue is what you forecasted at the beginning of the year in January, looking forward and setting targets, and you're looking at pipeline and metrics and everything else went out of the window. And so everything had to be refreshed quarter on quarter. And so we're working in a very agile, dynamic manner, looking at how things happen, because when we entered Q1, it was a very different world. When we entered Q2, it was a 180-degree turn, right? And so obviously things changed. And then as we entered Q3, although we reset for H1, we also looked forward and said, okay, now this is what's possible. But the challenge is being able to forecast with certainty when you don't know how much impact has come out of COVID-19 and how long will this impact continue. And so it's this uncertainty combined with forecastability, which impacts your linearity, which of course will impact your achievements and your numbers, which all in all will then, filter up to the end of the year, where there's no doubt that I think that most companies will see a significant impact on their overall ability to achieve their goals and targets as they had set in January.
Thank you for speaking to Arabian Reseller. It was nice having you with us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you very much for your time.